Kia Aura, guys. Reader the Kiwi here, and I'm finally back. My short hiatus. I mentioned in my thing that I was away working, and then I got a little bit sick as well. So, and I still have a little bit of a cough. I've got some lozenges and stuff, so hopefully it's not too bad. But we're finally back, and from now on we'll be back to our usual weekly streams, daily and weekly streams. Unfortunately, Master Duel's in maintenance, so we can't start off the week with our usual masochist run. But instead, I'm close to maxing out Pectomancer, and so we're gonna just play through the magical range DPS class role quest for Dawntrail. So it's a good time for that. So without further ado, let's get started. Hour Forgotten. Oh, hello. Did Baruki Vu send you to help recover our stolen treasure? Thank the heavens. Judging by your accoutrements, you've learned in the arcane arts, yes? If so, with need of your power and wisdom. Truth be told, it is the wisdom that we require most. You see, even though the treasure has been guarded by our people for generations, we know little of its true nature. Ages pass, forests of our homeland were plagued with terrible beasts, a constant source of fear and danger. To combat this menace, our mages spent many moons researching the treasure known as the Perch of Apex. Upon unlocking its secrets, they were able to drive the monsters from the woods, bringing peace at last. The threat all but eradicated, our forebears forbade any further use of the treasure and enshrined it within the village. As the years passed, we slowly forgot what it was to live in fear. Yet, as our struggles faded into memory, stories surrounding the Perch of Apex became legend, then myth. Now, none living are certain of its true power. Yet, the peace was shattered by a member of the Passage of the Unbound. The villain wheeled his way into our trust and stole upon my husband, the treasure's appointed guardian, catching him unaware with a terrible blow that left him unconscious. He has yet to awaken, so my daughter Ipiki has set forth to retrieve what was stolen. Unlike her father, she has no skill in the arcane arts. Chose the path of the sword. That's why I've been seeking someone with knowledge she lacks. Should the ancient power be unleashed, please, if you can find it in your heart, help Tipiki. I would be forever grateful. Consider it done. Oh, thank you, thank you. Now our only clue to the thief's whereabouts is from something he mentioned during his stay in our village. He spoke of his desire to bring change to a place called VTuber. That is where Tipiki decided to begin her search. He also bought a ferry bound there, by way of Limsa Laminza, with a trusted sword and shield. I guess she's a paladin or a gladiator. Close at hand. That's how you know her. He agreed to stay in Radzat gather information until aid arrived. I know nothing of the place, but it's likely she can be found in the marketplace or some such. Please bring our treasure and my daughter safely home. Quest accepted. Funny enough, I was just there, and I logged back in. Oh, are you looking for me? Whatsoever for? Hiru? And you say my mother sent you? I take it she's already explained the details, such as how we know next to nothing of the treasure and its capabilities. We have only the legends passed down through our forebearers to go on. They speak of a Taral vigil, of an owl that once terrorized the forests, whose soul was sealed within the perch of the apex. The tales have only become more vague as the mists of time obscure the treasure's origin. Even our village eldest remembers naught but an ominous warning uttered by those who once wielded its magics. Interesting. The master of the apex shall be showered with good fortune, yet leave only sorrow in their wake. It's clear that despite owning their safety to the apex's power, our forebears viewed it as something to be feared. It must be truly immense. Now, on the matter of the thief. Even during our brief acquaintance, he made plain his desire to bring change to Razat Han. Naturally, I started my search here. I have been seeking anyone who's expressed their satisfaction with the status quo. Sure enough, I soon heard stories of a recent arrival, a self-styled savior of Razat Han, who proclaims that he will lead the city to greatness, and calls himself the Justicar. He's apparently taken on the burden of personally exterminating the beasts which infest Thavnir's wilds. He made a great show of claiming he alone is equal to the task. While he certainly draws a crowd with his boasting, they only watch with morbid curiosity as he sets off into the jungles alone. I realize this could have nothing to do with our problem, but even the smallest lead must be pursued. I've heard he often gives his speeches at the region's smaller settlements, so shall we go and see this Justicar for ourselves? It's decided. I hear Yama'ad would be a good place to start. Hopefully there we can find our next crumb of a clue. Alright. Oh, right. What are we doing? Where are we going? Ah. Wow. That is one of the most like messages I've ever seen, dude. Unfortunately, for some reason my chat program wasn't working. Unfortunately, it didn't even pop up. Also, so I just got this bot message, and I only just realize. So it says like, "Hey dude, your stream and skills really impressed me today. It's my first time watching your stream. Are you new to Twitch? I'd love to be one of your big fans, blah 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 blah." But the funny thing about the "Are you new to Twitch" part of it is that this message was on Kick. It was on my Kick stream that they posted this. I mean, I am multicasting to Twitch, but they probably don't know that. And why would they be messaging that on Kick? God damn. Confused bot is confused. Teru, we're in luck. This boy saw the very man we seek. Seems he gave the same grand speech about saving the people, claiming that danger lurked nearby before venturing forth to combat it alone. Yet the Radiant host could not stand idle. They are truly beasts afoot. So one of them followed him. All we have to do is pick up their trail. He ran towards the shroud, but you might be able to spot him from Kajaya's footsteps. You can see the whole forest from there. Thanks, you've been very helpful. So Teru, let's head there and see what we can see. Alright. Now then, let's begin our search. Since I've never actually seen the Justica, I suggest we find the Radiant host soldier first. But all the bots coming out, I suggest we find Radiant soldier first. They will do all well they do all wear similar armor after all. But I've seen this one a lot. It seems like the same message that seems to whenever I'm streaming Final Fantasy 14. There's clearly a 14 centric bots that I suppose a lot bigger name streamers. Yeah. The first time I saw it, I was like, oh, yeah, okay. And then, like, ever since, it's always get at least one of 14 stream. That one's only on YouTube, though. Now, yeah, I read this already. Alright, it's the... Oh, found that pretty quickly. But what happened? We have to get down there quickly. I can fly down there. I have a two-person mount. Hop on. Never mind. I'm sure we flew down. Not to worry, Teru. He's unconscious, but otherwise appears unharmed. What happened? We heard you came here in pursuit of the Justica. Do you remember anything? Yes, I eventually found him. He was confronting that fiend that now lies dead. Awesome. At last, the Justica graces Razat Han. I shall bring unending peace to this belligerent land. You are brave to follow my path. You indeed possess the mettle to even consider the terrors which threaten our home, let alone stand against them. Yet, courageous though you may be, you're far too weak to fell a beast so mighty. Quit this place with your life while you are yet able. It's a regular beast. I am of the Radiant Host. If I ran from such meager prey, I would become a laughingstock. How bold to look death in the eye without flinching. I doubt not your conviction to defend Razat Han, yet I believe it pales before mine. O Apex, bestow upon me your divine might. Do not heed my call, I require your power more than ever. Is something supposed to happen? Why? Am I yet unworthy? Or mayhap there's a button I must press. This is not what I expected. Stand aside, I'll dispose of this pest. Just give me a moment. It cannot end like this. I won't be made a fool. Come on, you moldy trinket. Work. Transform me into the hero of Razat Han. A rock slide happened. He brandished that idol and became wreathed in a mysterious light. Then boulders started falling from the sky. Down they came, one after the other. That's when I must have been struck unconscious. I recall only faintly, but I think I heard the man mumbling, quite excitedly, as if he had come upon a sudden revelation, or as if he was overtaken by madness. It seems he got away unscathed. Either he had an incredible stroke of luck, or whatever he was beseeching to actually answered. Then it is as I oh. Then as I suspected, this Justica is a self-same thief who stole the perch of Apex. But no doubt, he's long departed from here. First, I'll escort this fellow back to Delmad and keep a close eye on him. Head wounds can have dreadful after effects. They certainly can. The soldier made his way to Razathan to make a formal report. What an odd report it will be. The Count seemed to align with the legends of the traitor's powers. The wielder escaped unharmed, brought ruin to those around him. Could those falling rocks have been a freak accident? I'm not too sure. You won't believe it, he came back. Who came back? The Justica? Yes, not long after you left. He said he beat up a monster that knocked out a Radiant. He was laughing his head off. Did he really do that? Is he really stronger than the Radiants? Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. Well, my mate can't start talking about him. He wants to be just like the Justica. His mum and dad weren't happy about that, though. I advise you and your friend to look for a different role model, but we thank you for telling us what happened. Well, there is one less thing skulking about, I suppose. May have been simply testing the traitor's capabilities. And as far as we know, he's yet to use its power to evil ends. I find his motivations a mystery. Steal the perch of the Apex by force, only to come here to Thavnir to use it for good? Makes no sense. You've heard tell of this passage of the Unbound, yes? Many have ventured to Tulioli to claiming to be their victims. Yet, here they would be saviors? He had such noble goals, and why did he stoop to such devious deception? What could he be plotting? But that's neither here nor there. He stole for my people, and that misdeed cannot be forgiven. The perch of Apex helped us win peace. By its might, our forebears built the foundation of the lives we now lead. Till recently, it stood silent, a symbol of our pride as a people. It reminded us that we carved out a home within the inhospitable wilderness. Being trusted with its protection is a great honor. I was so proud of my father when the elders chose him. So proud to be his daughter. Yet since the day was stolen, some of the other villagers made their disdain towards him only too clear. I couldn't bear it. That's why I must get it back. Restore my village's pride and my father's reputation. There's still so much that we do not know about the Justicar, but we have to assume he's learned to wield the Apex's power. I can't say whether those falling rocks have anything to do with it, but I won't discount it outright. I'll continue looking into his whereabouts, while we still have so many questions. With both of us working together, we'll find the answers soon enough. Dun 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 dun. Teru, I'm afraid there have been some developments that are less than encouraging. News of the Justicar's actions has spread throughout the city. With each retelling, his deeds become more valorous. The younger citizens in particular seem to view him as something of an idol. Despite the creatures he hunts posing no real danger, he would paint them as mighty beasts in need of felling. Of course, the Radiant hosts are far too busy to trouble themselves culling every pest that casts a sideways glance out of the city gates. Yet the Justicar has twisted circumstances to his advantage, proclaims to anyone who will listen that the Radiant hosts shrink with terror before these beasts, and that he's the only one who can eradicate them. Though you might expect such claims to be dismissed as wild ramblings, it seems no few people have fallen for his ploy. Whispers of his exploits among the youth have practically grown into a clamour. Yet we mustn't discourage, for his increasing fame only makes him easier for us to sniff out his trail. And where better to start than Raz at hand? I'll see you there, Teru. Alright. Doing some quick maths of how much XP I'll earn from this. I think I'll probably will do at least one roulette. Given how large the city is, let's split it up to cover more ground. I already have a destination in mind, the High Crucible. Here the alchemists there can concoct all manners of tinctures and powders, including those which help in detecting traces of energies left behind by magics and guarded tools. Fallen Rocks has invariably marked locations where Justicar has performed one of his feats. I believe an alchemical mixture can help us determine if the presence is the work of the treasure. Hardly an expert in such concoctions, though, so I'll see twice at the High Crucible. Hey, I'm a high level alchemist, I can help with that. While I'm doing that, I would ask that you go to the Hall of the Radiant Hosts and see if any new information on Justicar's whereabouts. Does that plan sound agreeable to you? Great. Now that we both have our tasks, let's get to them. I'll meet you back here once my business is done. I'm tired of hearing about this Justicar. His popularity among the city's younglings is quickly becoming a cause for concern. Try as we might to refute his claims that the Radiant hosts are allowing monstrous beasts to run amok, unchecked. You know how young minds are impressionable. Difficulty to change once set. We initially disregarded him as a boastful and eccentric, but his alarming sway over the populace can no longer be ignored. We are at the present considering whether to open a formal investigation into his activities. You and this other ally of yours have done well in the search thus far. You even have a working theory about the falling stones. Quite impressive. Several of a number have encountered him during their patrols, only to lose sight of him under a hail of rocks. Such incidents have become all too frequent, and many in our ranks demand we act. For now, I'm afraid this is all the help I can offer. Please share what I've told you with your companion, and together we may yet unmask the Justica. It's heartening to know that the Radiant hosts are taking this seriously. Thank you for speaking with them, Teru. I have good tidings as well. I explained the situation to the alchemists. They provided a powder that should help detect traces of magics in the surrounding environment. I say help because the powder reacts only faintly on its own. To function properly, it requires the skills of one practiced in the arcane arts. Luckily, I have you. I've committed the locations of all sightings of the Justica to memory, and the closest to us was at the Perfume Rise. Let's hope this powder works as intended. Alright. Oh. Bum, bum, bum. The Justica was sighted near here. I didn't see any other conspicuous stones around, so sprinkled the powder over this one. Now concentrate your focus, or inner eye, or whatever it is that's the locus of your power. See if you can detect any unnatural forces. Let's see. This thing, like it's working. So, were you able to detect anything? I knew you could do it. So, because there was no crystals in the rock, the energy detected must be the remnants of some kind of spell. Is that right? And taking the story of the Radiant we rescued previously into account, we can conclude that the Justica uses the treasure to cool those stones down from the sky. At least now we have an inkling of its true nature. Even so, not every question has been answered. The Radiant told us that even the Justica stood before the creature. That even as the Justica stood before the creature, he seemed to have trouble calling forth the Apex's power at first. My father once said that the perch of the Apex is much like the wand he used to weave his magics. Of course, the main difference between them is the unique nature and the essence stored within the treasure. I know little of such arcane instruments, but you must be quite familiar with them. How do you use yours? Relying on your power, form incarnations, I channel ether into it. I see. Even with the right instrument, spellcasting requires the use of specific techniques. The Jessica seems to lack any such expertise. So how did he tap into the treasure's power? So for bothering you to offer permission of it. Sorry, not interested. Not interested, surreal technical W. Not interested at all. I suppose the perch of the Apex possesses some unique method of activation. When I spoke to representatives of the other tribes about their treasures, no one mentioned special techniques being required. Not that the relics should have much in common to begin with, but they all look of like the same design, so. You two, did you see an Origil pass through here by herself? I'm afraid not. What happened? Wait, I recognize you both. The hero of the final days and our recent visitor from Toral. Apologies for the imposition, but may I beg your assistance? It's all that Jessica's fault. The guild said she was off to join that fool's crusade and ran out of Viermad before anyone could stop her. Okay. Her mother begged us to find her, but she's following the Jessica. She could be anywhere. You see, he's been sighted at locations scattered all over Thavnir. We can't stand here looking at rocks while Gil is in danger, especially if the Justica is involved. We have to help. That would be much appreciated. We're searching places where the Justica's been spotted before, so perhaps you could start where he hasn't been seen? Good idea. As far as I know, he hasn't been sighted at the northern shores. Come on. Trying to cough away from the mic, but it is difficult. Vicky. Silly girl off by herself. I heard fighting, so I came as fast as I could. Good thing you arrived in time to save the girl. Ah, she's got both. Surely that's a fashion. Thank you, miss. Thank you. I'm glad you're safe, but your mother must be... Oh, God. But your mother must be worried sick. You shouldn't wander off like that, especially not to look for a trickster like the Justica. What? You mean he's a bad man? Yes, exactly. He stole an important treasure from my village. Now he's using it to make himself look brave. But he needs it to kill the monsters to protect us. That's no excuse for stealing. He might have fooled you younglings, but the Radiant host know what he's up to. But he said he'll save us from the monsters. He's our hero. The Radiant said we shouldn't be scared, but we all know the Justica is the one who keeps us safe. We don't need the Radiance anymore. Would be very upset to use that. No hero can save the world alone. Ah, I'm sorry. I shouldn't say bad things about the Radiant. They protected everyone in the final days. Guess I forgot how much they care about us. I'm sorry too. I shouldn't have spoken to you like that after all you've been through. You said that Jessica is a thief and a trickster? I hope it's not true. He's my hero. I inadvertently put like some feeling behind that line. So I was just fighting back a cough. Well, I'd best escort her back to Yedmard. I'll meet you there later, Teru. The girl and her mother are reunited, and I think we can both give ourselves a pat on the back. They're on their way now to inform the Radiant host that all is well. I would like to apologize for before. I let my emotions get the better of me. The Haragu, that poor girl, and Harangued, that poor girl. Never seen that word before. When she was hardly to blame for anything. I really should have been scolding myself. Here, there's something I neglected to tell you before. A man who now calls himself the Justica came to us in the guise of a worldly merchant. He was eager to ask about the Perch of Apex history. I was eager to tell him, not even considering what he might do with the information. I'm so proud of my father for being appointed as his guardian. I suppose I was trying to impress us out of sheer vanity. That vanity led to my father being attacked. treasure being stolen from under our noses. I have no choice but to make amends for my mistake and bring it back. Yet, some are convinced that Jessica acts only to serve the greater good. I couldn't accept that he might not be as rotten as I thought. Lashed out at the wrong person. Now on, I can't let my emotions cloud my judgment. I must remain calm and look at the facts for what they are. The facts say that the Jessica has done no harm to the people of the theft. Or maybe he's sown seed of doubt around the Radiant Host. Even so, the organization he serves, the Passage of the Unbound, is evil to its very core. His actions at my village are not villainy, I don't know what is. The situation is fraught with contradictions. Still don't know what to think. What about you, Teru? Even if he hasn't, yeah, exactly. Even if he hasn't attacked anyone, his actions are stirring unrest. Why you can't have vigilantes. I agree, he speaks of justice and heroism and great bluster. Yet, there's something we're missing. Thank you, Teru, for your wise words. Sometimes find it difficult to keep my heart from viewing from my perspective, so I'm grateful that you're here to help me see clearly. So it seems our objective is unchanged. We track down the man who stole my people's sacred treasure. Whatever his intentions may be, unraveling them comes secondary to finding the man himself. I'll continue to pour my every effort into the search. So stop by from time to time. And I may have something new to share with you. Alright. West. Teru, I hope you've been well. Since we last spoke, the Jessica has been busy selling fiends all across Thavnir, leaving a trail of witnesses behind in his wake. More than a few have reported seeing stones falling from the sky, which all but confirms our theory that the treasure is causing the phenomenon. Stories share one particular commonality. It seems the pests he hunts would all been of seedkin variety. Why he avoids beasts of flesh and blood is yet a mystery. It bears mentioning that each of these eyewitnesses' accounts come from people who were rescued by the Jessica, who invariably appears just as these creatures attack. In fact, the Jessica has been there to save the day in every single instance of the seedkin related mischief. Awfully suspicious, if you ask me. I'm not the only one who thinks so. Someone may get... Some among the Radiant hosts have suggested that the Jessica is planning these assaults somehow, so he alone can reap the glory from thwarting them. I agree, and think this should be our next avenue of investigation. Many of these incidents occur near giant school grounds, so we should start our search there. If we can find one of these monstrous plants before it finds out this prey, we may be able to shed some light upon the Jessica's methods. Time is of the essence, so let's leave at once. Gonna now. Off we go. Any moving bushes, slithering veins? Not here in any case. Hero, I'll search the western path. Why don't you search the east? If you see something, don't strike to kill. Weaken it and capture it with this rope. We'll learn much more from a live specimen. Alright. Good. So strong. Capybara! I see plenty of fauna roaming around, but flora all seems to be the rooted to the ground variety. Perhaps my hunch was incorrect. You found one? In fact, this is exactly as the eyewitnesses described. Why don't you keep it for the time being? Bring it to the Great Work, and I'll ask my acquaintance to examine it with all haste. Alright. Mr. Stepicki told me what to expect. Well then, let's see the thing. Oh, I didn't expect it to be so diminutive. Mr. Stepicki's intuition is correct, and I expect some interesting discoveries are in store. Dun, dun, dun. You've brought me quite the fascinating specimen. Indeed. I can say for certain that this creature's growth isn't natural in the slightest. Biologically, it's still but a sapling, as you can tell by its size. Yet it is a result of a specific alchemical mixture that's used to spur the growth of seeds and mycelium to an unnatural degree. Agents have a side effect of making the creatures more aggressive. It explains why such a small specimen would so boldly attack beings larger than itself. Yet, the solution requires ingredients most rare. The cost of procuring enough to synthesize it would be beyond the means of most. Whoever is behind this, they are likely well heeled. As for the creatures themselves, they were all grown artificially. Perhaps that explains why most of the incidents involve small seedkin. Rather than wait for them to mature naturally, the Jessica must have accelerated their growth so he could deploy huge numbers over a short span of time. In fact, his plan likely requires they be small, weak foes in order to guarantee his victory. After all, the great Jessica can hardly be expected to bear the blemish of defeat. With these new details brought to light, it's almost certain he's staging these attacks on common folk. Now we have a new perspective to guide our search. Perhaps you should return to Yildamad. I hear the Justica is the talk of the village, and they doubtlessly have stories to share. Splendid idea. Thank you for your findings. Thank you. Your findings have brought us a step closer to unmasking that villain. Alright. How to you, Yildamad. The more accounts we have of the Justica, the better our chances of predicting his next move. Knowledge is power. Rest assured, the Radiant hosts are well aware of the Justica. Every day we receive more reports of him combating beasts in the surrounding wilderness. These encounters are never on well-traveled roads. They occur in remote regions that we scarcely patrol, along routes that are only used by a small number of merchants and porters. We've concluded that the Justica is either has uncommon knowledge of the behavioral patterns of these creatures, or that he keeps close company with a merchant who travels your paths. Oh, you're hungry to learn more of the Justica? He's amazing! I was lucky enough to catch a glimpse of him on the road leading here, facing down a fearsome creature. I don't know how he did it, but he called down rocks from the sky to knock that thing flat. The Radiant hosts were away on patrol, so if he hadn't come to our rescue, that brute would have marched right into our homes. He shouted that he was the savior of Razat Han, and even waved at me. Oh, he looked so impressive with the sun shining behind him. Alright, fanboy. Oh. Eh? Don't tell me you're come chasing that half-baked savior. The younglings might have taken in by his honeyed words, but anyone with experience can see he's nothing but a charlatan, and I have a story to prove it. A merchant I know took a tumble as he was transporting his goods. Not long after comes the Justica, looking chivalrous as you please in his shining armor. But did he offer a helping hand? No, he ran off with nearly a glance backwards. He may go on about slaying beasts, but a real hero would never ignore someone in need, even if they were just suffering from scraped knees and a bruised ego. Good, he has a good hit on his shoulders. What the fuck? Who the fuck is this guy? And look, look at his face. Is this the Justica? Scared about running into her. Hero, do you have a moment? I'm having a little trouble here. Sort this merchant out because I was told he dealt with the alchemists in the Great Work. Thought he might know something about the Justica. But when I asked, he's been like this ever since. I apologize. I was just surprised that you would ask me about that madman. What connection could he possibly have with me? The fiends he fights are grown with rare alchemical materials, and this guy's got to be the Justica. We think he might be staging these encounters. Since you deal in such wares, I wondered if you might know how he came into their position. I don't know what you're talking about, but I mean, I've never spoken to that man. Oh, he's an acquaintance of the Justica. I very much doubt that. Perhaps he'll be more receptive to questioning from you, Teru. Seems to an intimate knowledge of the trade routes. Who taught him, I wonder? Come now, any merchant with a nose for profit has good relations with the alchemists. By your way of thinking, any one of us could be in league with Verizon. Verizon, you said. Who is that, may I ask? Huh? What? Did I? No. That's my name. I'd be a fool to continue this charade any longer. My son Verazan is the one you know as the Justica. To be suddenly confronted with his litany of misdeeds, I quite lost my composure. You're his father? Then, do you know he came into possession of such rare materials and knowledge? Aye, he stole them from me, my most valuable materials, and my precious maps. Yet I was the one who chose to hide that fact. I bear the blame for my consequences. What can you tell us about him as a person? Farazan was obsessed with the tales of the legendary heroes, even from a young age. I paid a great deal of money to have him tutored in the art of the blow. He became quite skilled at it, in fact, but not quite as skilled as his arrogance led him to believe. Due to this, perhaps the lack of ambition, he never aspired to true greatness. Instead, he came to rely upon fanciful equipment and exotic potions, rather than honing what skills he had. It paid me to see him fall into disillusionness, but he would brook no counsel. So, several years ago, I gave him enough coin to support his lavish lifestyle and told him never to speak with me again. He didn't, until but recently, when he darkened my doorstep once more. And that was when he stole your goods? Aye, although I would have willingly given them if he had but asked. He was rambling almost incoherently, saying that his heroic deeds as the Justica had caught the eye of someone named Apayai, leader of the Passage of the Unbound, whoever they are. He claimed that under the guidance of his newfound allies, he had obtained a great power enough to eclipse all heroes who might have come before and shall come after, as he put it. It seems he gives what money he still has to these people. To think that for all his fanciful words, he has only deigned to grasp that hollow glory, all at the expense of Razat Han. There's no greater shame as a father. Given what we know of the shadowy group, they most likely aim to sow discontent through Verazan's deeds. Maybe so blinded by his own desire for adoration that he can't see whose hands are pulling his strings. You're saying that he's being used? That's true, and I can no longer remain silent, despite what shame it may bring. I see now that sharing my story might be the only way to save my son. Indeed. I suggest you tell the Radiant Host at once. Of course, we'll be pouring our every effort into stopping him. Thank you for giving me direction. I didn't imagine our meeting would end this way. Truth be told, I'm not entirely unsympathetic towards Verazan. I basked in my father's reflected glory, while having none of my own to speak of. The glory Verazan thinks is similarly false. I too shall visit the Radiant Host, and have them spread word of the Justica's true nature. The people are wise to his trickery, they will be far more likely to aid us. He'll soon learn that a legend built on lies is no match for true heroism. Right. Alright. I like how she stands sort of like this. Greetings, Teru. Barashan's father has been as good as his word, and has confessed the truth of his son's actions to whoever will listen. Even among the younglings, far fewer sing the Justica's praises. Tide is turning in our favor at last. The Radiant hosts are making ready to tighten the net. Speaking of which, they had curious news to share. They'd been examining the stones left behind by the Justica and noticed a pattern. They were all varieties of rock commonly found near the site of each encounter. For instance, near Giant Skull's ground, the Justica seemed to have called down a hail of what else but giant skull. I have my own theories about what this means, but I'd like to hear your thoughts, Teru. Nothing. Rocks weren't summoned but moved. Indeed. Perch of Apex likely lifts whatever stones are nearby, brings them crashing down to earth. If our suspicions are correct, we're one step closer to unraveling its mysteries. But despite these favorable developments, the Justica's popularity remains a problem. Even with the recent blow to his credibility, his most ardent followers still idolize him. In fact, I hear he's handing out letters to the youth of Razat Han. Though their contents are a closely guarded secret, all the more reason to investigate, don't you think? Once we go to Razat Han, if I question people around the marketplace, could you cover the city's western quarter? That's where his younger followers tend to gather. After we've collected enough information, let's meet here to share our findings. Here at Razat Han, Teru. Alright. Back to the city. Hulking youth. Justica gave me that invitation himself, only for some thief to snatch it right out of my hand. Huh? You believe in the Justica too? Well, I didn't have a chance to read the whole letter before it was stolen, but he's gathering his most devoted for a special audience. Rasa stole my invitation is clearly up to no good. He even muttered something about getting revenge. But who could hate someone so noble? Yeah, I know about the letters. Me and my friends didn't get one though. The grown-ups get angry if we talk about the Justica. But guess what? I heard Chazelle talking about him over by Merad's Mehang. He had a big grin on his face too. Does that mean the Justica isn't a bad man like the grown-ups say? Oh, you're one of the ones who's always following Tepiki around. Heard she's spreading rumors about the city's savior. I won't let her harm his reputation any more than she already has. So I have nothing to say to her lapdog. I'm no one's lapdog. I'm leading this. Ha ha ha, it's true what they say. The fool and his gill are soon parted. Huh? Why, if it isn't one of the heroes of the final days? Heh, this isn't about that map I sold to your companion, is it? You'll find it points the way to the vaults of FFXIV, third, exactly as described. I may have employed a few creative methods to price my customers, but what merchant doesn't? I'm not here about the map. You're not? But of course, why would you be? Haha. Well, what can I do for our vaunted heroes? You're after the Justica? The choice of quarry is unusual to say. But perhaps I can help you, eh? A young man came asking for a map to open the way to Aznaar. Told him every map I had, assuming that he had the one he needed was assuring him that the one he needed was among them. I suppose he found it, as I hear these letters that were handed out contain a copy of a map. I dare say that young fellow was the Justica himself. He's planning a Kallenstein meeting in the Aznaar canals. Mind you, it appears he has no shortage of enemies. I doubt they'll try to interfere. Thankfully, Razathan isn't known for large-scale criminal organizations. But that hasn't kept the less scrupulous citizens from dirtying their hands when times are desperate. From what I hear, bandits seeking to rob trade caravans keep running into the Justica during his fiend-felling exploits, causing their raids to end in failure. Like as not, they'll try to infiltrate his group of followers and settle the score. And that's where my knowledge of the matter ends. If you're wondering where the meeting place is, all I remember is that the spot marked on the copied maps is somewhere in the Shroud of Zamgar. So, does that answer your queries? He was so ready to just drop all that information for me for free. Very strange. Because as a merchant, he could have easily sold that, tried to sell that information to me. But maybe he thought better of it. Those in need of the Justica didn't seem surprised when I told. Those in support of the Justica didn't seem surprised when I told them of his misdeeds, but they were still reluctant to betray them. In short, I've no luck. What about you, Teru? I got a whole lot of information. Your investigative abilities never cease to amaze me. As for this gathering Barazan is planning, I expect it's some scheme to prop up his flagging popularity. Even so, many of his devotees are younglings, ill-equipped to make the perilous journey to the meeting place. Is there any sense, rather than attempt to travel there directly, to stop the settlements along the way to rest and confirm the route? Did the map lead to the Shroud of Samagar? Yes, that means Palaka's stand is the closest settlement. I hear many took refuge there during the final days, and it's now a bustling town in its own right. The arrival of more people would hardly raise the eyebrows, making it the perfect place to avoid unwanted attention while they make ready. We should head there before they leave and on their final leg of the journey. Alright. Dun 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 dun. If our samurai friend will show up. I was right, Teru. Many of the youths are carrying pieces of parchment. Those must be the letters. Yet it seems my reputation has preceded me. Our suspected followers clearly avoid me whenever I try to approach them. Still, we can use this to our advantage. None of them would dare leave Palika's stand while there's risk I might follow after. We'll keep watch over their comings and goings, but we'll make sure to leave obvious blind spot. When the Jessica follows attempts to escape the village, I need you to go after them. Now, find a vantage point that affords a good view while keeping you hidden. Once you start pursuing our unwitting target, I will be far behind. Is this going to be a stealth mission? So obvious. I'm there. So obvious. Alright, it is. Alright. Oh, it's a really short. All right. The portal should be nearby. Then I'll finally meet him. What? You're the hero who saved us from the final days. What are you doing here? So you're working alongside that woman I saw at the village. I've heard about the rumors she's spreading, but I had no idea she had enlisted your aid. Jessica saved me, you see. I was transporting goods for a local merchant. It was too measly to even hire a proper escort. A ferocious creature ambushed me, but my savior appeared from nowhere. Saw off the beast. I owe him my life. That's why I came here. See if there's any truth to the rumors. But now I understand I'm in over my head. Going back home. Yeah, you can have the map. I trust you take the measure of the Jessica. Share the truth with us all. Okay. He was misguided, but he wanted to know the truth. So, apologize for watching from the shadows, but I was afraid my presence might have startled the lad. I was able to hear what he said, though, and his gratitude towards the Justica seemed genuine. I dare say other followers feel similar. Well, now that we have a map of our own, let's open the portal and confront Veraza. Alright. Portal? That's weird. The fuck? Oh. People are hurt. She's like freaking out. What a sight. Did the treasure cause this? Oh my. It isn't the hero who saved Razat Han. Nay, the world itself. I never expected someone so vaunted to attend my audience. But I am honored nonetheless. Enough of your games, Verazan. Stop this madness at once. After giving you such a warm welcome, and these are my thanks, I get. While 'tis true that I had once known by that name, it was merely a guise I wore until I discovered my true self. So long as I am the masked hero Razat Han, I shall not suffer any to call me Verazan. But that is your name, isn't it? Hero should take pride in the name. Game is up with. Hero should take pride in the name. It would seem the Justica's meager alter ego has been brought to light. But will he shrink once more into the shadows of mundane obscurity or embark on the next chapter of this legend? God, his hair is so bright. Very well. My name shall ring throughout Razat Han. Let it be known that the Justica is Varajan. Varajan is the Justica. What are you saying? You unleashed Church of the Apex upon your own followers. You know its name. Wait, I remember you. The girl from Dawntrail, yes? Your village's artifact is not discriminating in its wrath. Some among my followers harbored wicked intentions, and it brought sorrow unto my enemies. True of heart caught in the aftermath were merely unfortunate. But they believed in you, even though you tricked them. What kind of hero are you? You too would oppose me? I had thought that as fellow saviors, we might find some common ground. Yet it would seem we are destined to walk different paths. Now faced with unknown peril, a great fever rages within me. What a shitty ability. However, here is not where we shall match wits. No, more fitting battleground is in order. We will meet again soon. You have my word. Ah, shut up. Gah. she just hit him. Yeah, and she hit him. That was fucking great. And her reaction was like, oh, whoops. So, can you tell us what happened here? He gathered us all around and made a grand speech, claimed he was the hero that would drive back the flood of fiends threatening Thavnir. Then he spoke of his anger at the recent rumors. He told us to go forth and repair his damaged reputation so that the people would love him again. He became quite impassioned, in fact. As for us two, we were here to teach him a lesson, biding our time until his back was turned, but we couldn't stomach his self-righteous drivel any longer. He acts like he's a god come to grace Thavnir, but most people have grown wise to his tricks, including the Radiant Host. We stepped forward and told him as much, then demanded that he admit he's been pulling the wool over everyone's eyes. That's when he started waving that thing about. We soon learned that the rumors of his powers were true. Rocks started falling down around us. Even his true believers were not spared. There was nowhere to run. Like, oh my god! It's like, oh my god, how could this happen? Oh. The Justica said such power cannot be fettered, and that sacrifices were unavoidable. And all the while, all the while he was laughing. We pleaded with him for mercy, but that just made him angrier. He flourished that object again, and yet more rocks assailed us. It was horrible. Stones, big and small, raining down endlessly. So you two appeared, that is. Thank you for telling us what happened. I only wish we could have arrived sooner. Now, just to set things straight, it was you two that brandished your weapons first, yes? Wow. Well, I won't deny that, but we're only trying to bring the truth of his misdeeds to light. We thought we might have had some personal scores to settle on top of that. Before I left Palika's stand, I asked the Radiant Host where to look out for anyone returning from the wilderness. I suggest you head there and seek their aid. While you're there, share with them what you just told us. As for the pair of you, don't even think about running away, or you'll have us to deal with. No, how could this happen? Alright. Everyone has returned to the care of the Radiant Hosts. As for those ruffians who meant to attack Verizon, it seems they had a history of violence for which they may soon answer. Several among Verizon's followers would doubt serious wounds, but we can be grateful that none lost their lives. Exactly as the old saying describes, the master of the apex shall be showered with good fortune, yet leave only sorrow in their wake. Part about sorrow certainly seems true, at least. We can but hope that Verizon's spell over the people will be broken at last when word of what transpired here becomes common knowledge. Let that buoy our spirits as we return to Yamad. Right. They're definitely gonna have to do some hits. I think one trial might. Well, that was certainly an ordeal. Although Varajan got away, we can look back upon what transpired to plan our next course of action. It appears that the treasure takes rocks from the surrounding environment, makes them rain down upon the wielder's surroundings. However, power seems to be somewhat haphazard. While Varajan himself wasn't struck, the boulders assailed friend and foe alike. Something else has been nagging at me as well. The stones we saw in the canals seemed quite a bit larger than the others. I don't know what to make of it, but I will give it some thought. We still don't know exactly how he controls the Apex abilities either. We must focus on these mysteries as we continue our investigation. As for Rajan himself, he was just as his father said, wasn't he? His so-called heroism is an empty charade, like a child playing at being a hero from the storybooks. Seems motivated by a vain desire to gain the love of the people, yet he cares nothing for their well-being. He'll learn his lesson soon enough, though. None will sing his praises after word of what happened at Uznav spreads. Even he must know this. I worry that his desperation will drive him to worse misdeeds. The treasure is used with reckless abandon. It could cause untold harm. I must discuss this with the Radiant host. Together we might be able to capture Varazan before he attempts anything drastic. Stand by for now, Teru. I'll be in touch the moment I have something to which will be in a moment. But I am going to quickly be right back before we do the next. Alright, we're back. Let's jump into the next one. It seems Varajan has been lying low since our last encounter. I'm sad to say, however, that my investigations have uncovered little. But there's still cause to celebrate. Hey Roxas. But there's still cause to celebrate. Well, I've received a letter from my mother with good tidings. My father has finally awakened after the grievous wound dealt to him by Farazan. He's well enough to travel to Tulioli, in fact, and may have already arrived. Okay. Of course, I'd love nothing more than to go to him. But I pledge not to return until I find that perch of Apex and until I had the perch of Apex in hand. Besides, I'm soon to depart with the Radiant Host to try and sniff out Farazan's whereabouts before he acts out of desperation. That's why I ask that you go in my stead as the treasure's guardian. No one living is more knowledgeable about its history than he. If you share with him all that's transpired since we began our search, he may be able to point out something that we've missed. I know it's a lot to ask, Teru, but the safety of Thavnir depends on it. And please, give my family my regards. My mother should be able to tell you where in Tulioli my father is staying. Once you're finished, let us meet in the Aetherite Plaza in Razat Han to share what we've learned. Also, you just missed a pretty funny gag just before with in this side story that I'm doing, where the villain essentially did a smoke screen to disappear and try to run away, and one of the characters, annoyed at him, just picks up a rock and just throws the rock into the smoke, and it just nails him in the head. or I assume it was in the head. It just nails him and he goes, "Oof!" as he escaped. This is pretty good. Alright. Oh, if it isn't Teru, but I don't see Topeki with you. Did you come alone? I'm glad to hear my letter arrived safely. That Topeki seems to be as tenacious as ever in her search. Her father, Naseti, has already arrived in Tulioli, but has barely stayed in one place since. He seems desperate to help Topeki from a distance in whatever way he can. Told me he was traveling to Payanaran in plane in search of information. He assured me was quite vital. If you wish to speak with him, he'll doubtlessly be in that area. God. Running all over the place. The other one's probably closer. Do, do, do. All right. Whoops. Should have done all this before. That's probably fine. Also really under geared that I Yeah, I probably should grab the 98 gear. Come on, roll. Thank you, traveler. I overexerted myself, but I've recently recovered from a severe injury. That was a fool to confront such a beast alone. So you're the Teru I've heard so much about. Pay you my thanks for all you've done to recover the perch of the apex. News of your progress in Thavnir is most heartening, despite my position as its guardian. I never knew it could rain down stones from the heavens. Since arriving in Tulioli, I've done what I can to shed light upon the Taral Vidra sealed within the treasure. After the nations of Taral were unified, some left our village to build new homes in the city. I've sought them out to see if they know anything of use. Unfortunately, none could offer insights into the treasure's magics, but one of them told me that owls lurked around this place. And since the Taral Vidra sealed within the perch of the apex was once an owl, it seemed logical to pursue such a quarry. I thought perhaps I could glean something about the ancient beasts from their behavior. Like as not, some fundamental aspects remain the same even after transformation. But having heard your account, there is one fundamental difference that stands out. As far as I'm aware, no owl native to these lands possesses the ability to hurl rocks, large or otherwise. No doubt the Taral Vidrals gained this power following its metamorphosis. I do believe, however, that it will retain an owl's core instinct. Oh. That one you fought didn't strike unprovoked. Instead, it watched me from afar with fear in its eyes. While this is normal behavior for most animals, I was surprised by how suddenly it descended upon me the moment I started approaching. Sense danger and attack preemptively. I had the same thought. The owl sensed the threat and chose to confront it rather than run from it. The same impulse may have driven the Taral Vidral. Indeed, that correlates with something I heard one of my countrymen who had relocated in Tulioli. He spoke of a continuation to the tales passed down from the elders. No hunter's arrow could fell the apex. It was struck down in a storm of its own wrath, made wild by the heart of fright. Thus was it sealed away at last. Now, judging from the owl's behavior, I can theorize that the treasure is activated when its bearer senses danger. According to the story, this power can easily get out of hand if its bearer is panicked. Of course, this theory must be tested first. Makes sense. Rajan will certainly use the perch of the apex again. When he does, I ask that you and Tipiki pay special attention to the circumstances leading to its activation. So far, it all seems right. Like when he was facing off that monster with the radiant host, it didn't activate until he felt endangered, and then when those two confronted him meeting, it then activated. When we confronted him, it activated again. So yeah, so it makes sense that the requirements is for them to feel danger. Sense danger. You have my thanks, loath though I am to admit it. I've yet to recover from my long convalescence, and I would be only a burden to you. I wish I could aid my daughter another way, but you more than make up for my absence. Please lend her every bit of knowledge you have, Teru. I pray that my daughter will soon return home, treasure in hand. You got it. No worries. Back to Razat Han. Hero, you came just in time. Farazan has shown his face in Razat Han. You can tell me about your journey to Tulioli later. Come on. Now come with me. Ooh. Ahaha, are you surprised? Thanks to the sage counsel of a fellow hero, I've decided to doff my mask. Though my face may be unfamiliar, I believe you know who I am. I was once Justica, but now you may call me Varajan. I am Thavnir's protector, its savior, its hero. You may have heard sacrilegious rumors that I have orchestrated the very attacks which I so violently drive back. That I was behind the catastrophe at the Aznir canals. I am here to assure you that those are false apprehensions, cast by those who are envious of their betters. I give my life for this fair city and its people. I would give more still if I could. What do we do? Might be best to lock him up before this gets out of hand. Wait, we don't want him raining down rocks with all these bystanders. Now keep an careful eye on him. All I ask is for your respect, your adoration, dream held by all, but realized only by few. And I would be one of those few. I have proven myself worthy of being your savior. And now, with an entire city watching with bated breath, I shall declare my intent to reach even higher. Yes, for I can protect you all the better as your ruler. I shall retire the mantle of hero and take up the crown as king of Razat Han. He is crazy. You're gonna take it off of a dragon feature? Bastard's gone mad. I wield power unassailable. With me on your throne, you would never again have cause to fear. All would live in peace. All would shower me with love. They would shout it to the heavens. And from that love would spring a new Razat Han, a greater Razat Han. Enough of your lies, Varajan. The power you wield protects none but yourself. To everyone else it brings only ruin. Of course, the road to greatness is ever paved with necessary sacrifices. Yet so long as your ruler lives, Razat Han shall know naught but prosperity. You think you're better than Master Vitra? He bore the city and its people on his back, while you looked fit to collapse under the weight of your own armor. You're no leader, you're a damn joke. He poses after that. Does this man speak for you all? Is there not one among you who would follow me into a brighter future? But I am nothing if not magnanimous. Do you find the wisdom to accept me as the ruler? I shall continue to stand vigilant as your eternal shield. Stop this, Varajan. You're only making it worse for yourself. Can't you see you've become a laughingstock? Give up this facade. Answer for your sins. Do so now, and the radiant host may yet grant you mercy. My sins? Are you not the one poisoning the people against me? Do your worst, I dare you. It will only make me more powerful. I know what is in your heart, but please end this madness. End it and return to me my son. Cats and the cradle and the silver spoon. Oh no, he's activating it. Don't get any closer. You two, why are you? Oh my god. What? Don't! If we fight here, there's no telling how many innocents will be wounded. Pathetic as ever. I tire of this farce. I have declared my intent to become king of VTuber. As for you two, this is no place for a battle between heroes. We shall meet again, mark my word. And then we shall decide who is the mightier. Can't fight here. Can't risk confrontation in the city. Ah, you're right, of course. Much as I hate to see Varajan walk free, we've yet to ascertain the extent of his power. For now, we must bide our time. I noticed that despite all his proclaimed love for its people, he didn't even look back at them as he retreated. Perhaps he couldn't bear to look them in the eyes, or one of them. Poor Dad. That was a disaster. Varajan is truly lost. At the very least, I forgot to get the armor. He's committed himself to fomenting unrest within VTuber. And although he's my son, I cannot condone his actions. His words are grand but empty. That ridiculous armor is nothing more than gaudy decoration. He is truly the embodiment of a false heroism. What's more, this latest debacle has surely made him a criminal in the eyes of the Radiant Hosts. All I can do now is beg them to grant my son some small degree of clemency. Before you go, may I ask you something? After Varajan cooled down the rocks, did you see his expression? I thought it peculiar, but I'm curious as to what his father saw in that face. Aye. It was a familiar look, and I used to scold him for losing himself in make-believe. He would get that same cast in his eyes, a look of petulant rage, as if he resented me for pulling him out of his reverie and into harsh reality. He hasn't changed. Apologies, but I must go. Just as I thought, even clad in his shining armor, can't bear to be told no. Now his childish games has taken an malevolent turn. But for now we should retreat. We should return to Yamad. I still have yet to hear what you've learned in Tulioli after all. Alright. And then we're gonna have to do a quick duty finder to get the last bit of XP for our level. I think a single trial will suffice, and if not, a single trial plus maybe some tribe quests. Now that we have some room to breathe, I'd like to hear about your journey in Dawntrail. Does my father have anything to share? I don't know that he's well enough to go chasing after owls and such, though I wish he had taken more care. Thank you for saving him, for bringing me his theory concerning the treasure. If it really is triggered by a sense of impending danger, that might explain why Varajan had trouble using it the first time. He wasn't truly afraid of that small fungi until it was almost upon him. It also explains how he can wield the apex power despite having no training in magics. It responds to emotion, not intent. So much for falling into place. He goaded the Radiance to apprehend him because he knew the threat would be answered. You saw how nonchalantly he quit that plaza, almost as if defying someone would stop him. Varajan truly believes himself to be untouchable. I think his words and deeds align with the theory well enough. As for that curious fragment of a story, it seemed to imply that the Dawntrail Vidra lost control in a panic. Perhaps its strength grows in proportion to danger it senses, and when that danger is too great, well, you saw what happened at the Isnir Canals, the Rajat. You were present both times, as were others who wished Raza ill. Both times we saw stones much larger than we've seen before. Now I understand why he's eager to face you. An opponent of your caliber will strike fear into Varajan's very core. That fear will summon a greater power than he's ever known. Power enough to bring a hero to her knees. Or so he thinks. But we know better. We'll use that arrogance to our advantage and bring him crashing down to earth. Though we may have to contend with falling rocks for a time. In a straight fight he'll be outmatched. So we strike fast and we strike hard. Till that fancy armor is nothing more than mangled steel. Although you may prefer to put your foes to sleep and whatnot, we know he has an arsenal of chemical concoctions at his disposal. That's why I suggest a bit of good old-fashioned brute force. While you unleash your most fearsome destructive spells, I'll be your shield. Don't ever think of holding back. Wouldn't dream of it. I look forward to fighting by your side. Now we simply have to find a suitable arena. I shall consult the Radiant hosts as to the location. Once that's decided, we'll confront Varajan the final time. Alright. Alright, let's go grab the armor and then we'll queue trials. What a glam. Dun, 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 dun. Range DPS. Might also be changing my glam. Use these pieces here at some point. At least maybe that hat. So I do like these. These. We'll see. All right. Trials. I just kind of hope that I don't get might get the first one, but not the second one. The item level. Oh, I just get Gerudo. Easy trial. Jesus, almost died because the tank wasn't. Its disappearance. Jesus. This one. That really was a lot less than I was expecting. For some reason. I guess classical white mage glam. It'll be PvP time. PvP should get it. Doesn't mean 20 minutes. I feel like it'll be faster than. Go do some fates. Like no fates here. fuck? What if I go to... Wait, chickens. Down to boom, boom. Right. Also, Kiwi XP counts, so let's... Oh. Oh, never mind. Alright, time for a quick PvP match. If that's that good, it's the brain-dead one. Oh, that's the thing open. But it's also like Dark Knight. Yeah. But it's also one that takes the longest. One that usually goes to time. Group C needs more healers. Whoa, that's some major lag that I'm suffering from. Holy shit. The fuck was any of that? There was some there was some big lag there. The other one is essentially all ours. Back off. Oh, Jesus. That was unfortunate. Really, we should be going to the bottom one. I don't like how close Red's there. I don't want to get followed in. God, when I'm on PvP, I'm fucking on. Fuck. Why are people pushing down there? They shouldn't. I'm trying as much as I can here. Gotta dodge. What the fuck? Ah, that's a fucking silent stun. Alright. I should have retreated earlier. We're still in it. Be tougher. Focus on getting this once. Oh, I didn't know that. What's his fat finger? Getting our score. The bad comebacks from like this transparency falls, but it's becoming less and less likely. Especially with what these guys are doing. What the fuck are you doing? Yeah. Go on the right. We shouldn't push Reed. Oh fuck. Alright, we're third party. Do this. Let's fucking do this. Fucking escape. Well, I tried to help people escape, but they just chose not to escape. We had a perfect turn, and then I think people just overextended. Not taking the victories that we should take. This person was like pulled back. That's what happens when you don't have like an actual commander. Steve doing calls and chat. I think people just tunnel vision about a commander. think Maelstrom's is it. I have to fuck up royally to not win. Maelstrom full attack, yeah. That's the only way we're gonna have a chance. Just full on attack Maelstrom. And we're not full attacking. What the fuck? What the fuck, people? What the? It's over. Maelstrom's won. The full attack command was given. Into attack and the advantage. But these people just hitting the rock. We should be attacking Maelstrom. We shouldn't be attacking Blue. If Blue knew what was good for them, they would go from above. Yeah, I saw that coming a mile away. I played into it, but it's like the samurai then by himself, he's probably got his ult. Yeah. I was doing well in the first part of this, but alright. Leave duty. Victor Mansa, level 100. Yeah, we did it. Victor Mansa. Whip. Whoops, that was the wrong thing. There we go. Alright. Time for the final quest. You'll be pleased to know that the Radiant hosts were most helpful in finding a perfect fit for a duel. A perfect place fit for a duel. When I saw it, even I began to believe our encounter would be one for the songs. Speaking of which, it seems your name is on the lips of all and sundry. People already consider you the true savior of Razathan, and believe you will bring Varazhan the disciple to justice. We apologize for putting so much weight on your shoulders, but something tells me you're used to it. The final showdown shall take place in the mountain pass leading to Kaldagar, where the great crystals will stand as witness to its conclusion. Suitably romantic and suitably isolated. The Radiant host has spread word throughout Vazner that a hero has arisen to challenge Varazhan, and his pride will force him to answer. The entrance to the pass is at Giant Skull Grounds. Let's head there at once to await his arrival. Alright. Do, do. Alright. The Rommel here has opened the way towards Kadan. I'm certain Varazan will arrive before long. Then we'll wipe that arrogant grin off his face. But first, we should check our gear. Gird our loins for battle. Are you ready, Teru? Sure am. Let's do this. There he is. Through the craggled peaks of Kagan, desolate winds blow over the field of battle. Oh, what a fitting location you have chosen for the conclusion of this legendary rivalry. I was right not to face you before. In the environs unsuited to struggle between titans. Now my patience has been rewarded. My heart races dissipation. I knew you would answer our challenge. You would never be able to stomach the people calling you craven. Such boldness in the face of impending doom. Have you not realized by now that so long as I wield the power of the perch of Apex, I am invincible? We'll soon put that to the test. You rely too much upon stolen power. It deludes you. You claim to be savior to the people, but they have seen through your lies. Even your own father can scarcely bear to look at you. You're nothing but a small man hiding within the hollow facade of a hero. Today we tear that facade down. Will you now? You may have the metal, but have you the puissance to claim the mantle of hero? My mantle? Razan Deceiver. Time for words has passed. Follow my lead. Give me a moment to paint some motifs. I like how she's like, follow my lead. too early. Not too late. Oh, we're fucking him up. Oh, that's that wasn't the ability I wanted to do. Whoops, I was meant to do that. I messed up. Wait, did he heal himself up? The goal. Oh, he broke his armor. What? My armor! My armor! Oh shit. Do this prep to next fight against him. Oh, I did this way. Perhaps we should consider this a draw. Phosphorus, so lay down your weapon. Wasting my buff. Yeah. Highly defenseless. One piece of wood was supposed to make me invincible. Can't move the artifact. It's oh boy. Oh. Freaking bot coming in the chat. That's this I'm busy in a duty. Not a bad fight. Oh god, I accidentally skipped that. What? This can't be here. Happen. This can't happen. Hero never falls. I must retreat. Yes, a tactical retreat. A noble retreat, so that the Jessica may live to save another day. Look at him run away without his armor. Huh? All right. I suppose the apex wasn't finished yet. And it seems that Varajan, in his cowardly haste, neglected to look skyward. Was it an unfortunate accident? Or fate delivering his just desserts? The rolling ice. He claimed to be Razathan's savior, yet he sowed only discontent among its people. Perhaps some days in the sunless gale give him time to reflect upon the error of his ways. And now I finally recovered the perch of the apex. Thank you for coming this far with me, Teru. Miserable here now. The battle was hard fought, but we made it through. Barazan is the responsibility of the Radiant Host now. Now that I've done what I've pledged to do, I must return and bring good tidings to my mother and father. Yet before doing so, there are many others I must thank. In the meantime, can I count on you to meet my family at Tulioli for one final farewell? My parents will surely be glad to see you again. Will do. Bum 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 bum. Right. I didn't expect to see you in Tuolioli again so soon. Is the picky well? He really did it? The man who stole sacred treasure will answer for his deeds? Father, it's good to see you. I'm sure Teru's already told you what happened. Couldn't have retrieved our treasure without her. So we've heard. Teru also told us your wits and bravery were essential to your success. On behalf of our whole village, I thank you for guiding Topeki in her quests, Teru. Now, the perch of the apex must be returned, put under careful guard once again. The story of the Dawntrail's demise proves that we are not meant to wield its power as our own. I'm sorry, Father, but I disagree. Once I return to the village, I want to tell everyone what happened in Thavnir. They need to know what the treasure is capable of, or else we risk forgetting once again. I won't deny that the apex power is dangerous. I saw with my own eyes what happens when it's wielded with abandon. Yet during the course of our search, I also saw potential. We fully understood how it worked. We could use it without risk to ourselves or other people. We could turn something we once feared to our advantage, instead of letting it become obscured in legend. I can see the reason in that. We must ever be ready for danger, even in times of peace. Should our safety be threatened, the treasure may grant us means to protect ourselves. But can we be trusted to use it responsibly? Great power breeds great desire. Someone with the same ambitions as Virajan may rise again, perhaps among our own. I dare say that once I've regaled them with the rise and fall of the Justica, they'll think twice before following his misguided footsteps. As our forebears relied on the legend of Dawntrail's fate to forbid the treasure's use, we can rely on the story of Virajan's fate to urge caution. This time, we have someone who lived through it to tell the tale. Of course, if I'm to be guiding people in the safe use of a potentially dangerous treasure, I want to know what her fault is. I see no choice but to inherit my father's position as its guardian. Some may raise their eyebrows at the prospect of loose-lipped Piki serving as the perch of Apex Protector, but I've grown from my mistakes. And who better to tell the tale of Radan's and Topeki's failures? Your only mistake was in trusting Rizar, the same as I and many others. But unlike him, you have the willpower to overcome your own failings. Over the course of your long and arduous journey, you gained a wealth of experience. Your efforts have finally been rewarded. You took responsibility for your actions, and by doing so prove your conviction to our people. They shall listen to this position. Open minds, I am certain. Now we must say farewell. That pains me. Are you a debt I could never hope to repay? Once I return to the village, I'll do my utmost to protect the treasure you worked so hard to retrieve. Till next we meet, fortune smile upon you. Right? complete. With that, another one of the role quests done. All we have left is the physical ranged role quest and then the master role quest. But we haven't really been leveling ranged yet. We'll probably level up Dancer and do it on Dancer. So look forward to that. Probably be next week, maybe sometime. Do it. But for now, that's all that's going to be for tonight's stream. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I will be streaming tomorrow, usual time. We'll be jumping back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it's no longer being maintenance. So look forward to that. But once again, thanks for watching. Until next time, bye bye.